afternoon, everybody. Oh, I have to take my glasses off to look at you. I have to put them on to read to take them off to look at you. I'm here to interview Tammy Silver. Now, Tammy is a pattern designer and sewing blogger based in London. She began sewing in just 2016, so she's a mere baby in the woods. But she quickly became a lover of the craft. She is a print-loving, puffy sleeve enthusiast. She enjoys making quirky looks with an abundance of colour and volume. As a pattern designer, she likes to showcase her core style elements of boldness, vibrancy and functionality. And what is really exciting is the first pattern, the petal top, was featured on Series 8 of the Great British Sewing Bee. That's cool, isn't it, that? So I'm now going to actually ask her some questions so you can hear from Tammy herself. So Tammy, when and how did you get into the sewing industry?
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining the talk today. So I'm Tammy. I started sewing back in 2016. My sister actually bought me a sewing machine for my birthday and went to this lovely studio in Brentwood and did a few lessons. I think the first thing I made was like a pouch and like a pillowcase or something really random. And I just really loved it from there. Started sewing like skirts, really basic things. And then I just became obsessed with making my own clothes, and from there I just really loved it.
Did you start sewing in the UK? Or?
Yeah, so I started sewing in the UK, and then when I actually wanted to learn more about pattern drafting and different techniques, then I went to Nigeria. So I actually spent about 3-4 months in Nigeria. I worked at a women's tailor shop and a men's tailor shop, and they actually sew really interestingly because they don't use paper patterns. So they draft everything on the fabric. It's called freehand sewing. And that's a technique that is not really used in the UK, so it's quite interesting. And that's basically where I learned how to pattern draft. And that's what helps me now, like, to make my own sewing patterns. And a lot of the time when I sew, I will just cut the fabric. I won't even make a paper pattern. So that's normally my style of working.
So I was going to ask you what the main differences were. So presumably that is it.
Yeah. So I mean, the idea is to cut it to the body, and then they'll draft the actual measurements on the fabric, and then they'll cut and shape it as they go along, as opposed to making a pattern beforehand. And in terms of sewing style, it's a lot of embellishments and like sequins and beading, like quite extravagant stuff. We make a lot of things for like weddings and parties. And if you want anything made, like you go to a tailor, you don't really go to like the shop and stuff to like buy things. If you want something really nice, like you make it. And that's the culture in
I really love your designs, and I like the 10K midi skirt with the little keyhole.
Yeah.
That is such a good. I don't know if any of you've seen it. Do go online and have a look at it. It's really sexy little number. It had to sit, but it has like a little keyhole, filing.
Yeah.
Just makes it different.
Yeah.
So when you're creating something like that, how can people buy them? Can they buy? Are they digital or are they printed?
So all my patterns are digital, and I sell it online, so mainly through my website, tammysilver.com. I also sell on Etsy, on Fabric Godmother, and on makers.com. And in terms of how I kind of come up with my designs, obviously it's things that I personally like to wear, so I'm never going to put out a design that I'm not going to wear myself. And I like to be quite fluid, so right now I'm trying to build up my collection, so I've done the top, I've done trousers, I've done the skirt, so I'm kind of building up what type of pattern do I have in my collection yet. So that skirt, I called it the 10K midi because it was to celebrate like 10K followers on Instagram. So it's kind of colorated, so it was kind of like a nice way to celebrate it. And I like things that are kind of sexy and a bit cute. I know it sounds like opposites, but for me, like that's the perfect summer pattern, and that specific keyhole, like it's not a common thing that you see.
No, I've not seen it.
Exactly.
I really liked it.
So with me, like if it's something that it's kind of out there already. I try my best to stay away from that. I want my pattern to be like as unique as possible.
So when you're creating a digital pattern, what particular hurdles have you had to overcome?
Well, I've had a lot of issues with my pencil top. I think it was literally out for like 1 month, and it got stolen on Etsy, and that was really frustrating. One of my followers messaged me to be like, "Oh, I've seen this pattern. Like, is it? I know it's your pattern, but is it you that's selling it?" And I was like, "No, it's not me. It's not me that's selling it." And it was this whole thing. Like, I found the Instagram account. Like, people are really nice because they will, like, when they see things, like, they'll point it out to me. And it was just a long process to have that taken down. And I think they were saying it for like half the price or something. It was very infuriating, but that's the kind of digital step that can happen.
So this is one of the hurdles you have to overcome.
Yeah, exactly.
So I also seen on your website you have collaborations with other pattern and fabric companies. So can you pick out two that are your favourites?
So my favourite one, it would be Spoonflower. So they sell fabric and you can print your own fabrics as well. And they basically, this was pretty much at the beginning of like my career when I was starting like sewing blogging and stuff. And they approached me and said, we want to promote this cotton canvas, and you can basically make whatever you want. So I chose like 4 different prints that were really nice. And I did like a Victorian inspired outfit, corset, and then I made like a really nice full skirt and a long skirt. I did the whole shoe, like having afternoon tea. My sister helped me photograph it. It was just really fun, and I like when brands just let me have creative control. Like, that's really important to me. They weren't really prescriptive on like, oh, this is what you must do, this is what it must look like. And then the new craft house, they're company. Again, they sell fabrics, they sell sewing patterns. I work with them quite a bit as well, and they're just lovely and really easy to work with as well.
So we've just mentioned that Tammy's got the website,
TammySilver.com.
.com, because on the website, one of the things I was particularly impressed with was the fact that you do sewing tutorials. They're fabulous, but they're also free. So that is pretty amazing that you actually offer those free. So, how do you decide what tutorial to write, and can you just give us an idea of what is actually?
Yeah. So a lot of the tutorials I have on my website are drafting tutorials, and I find that there's a lot of content online when it comes to like how to sew a pocket or how to sew a dress, but when it comes to the actual drafting part, there's not as much information on that. So most of my tutorials on my blog are drafting tutorials, and my most popular one is how to draft a basic bodice block, and then that's the one that's had like the most engagement. So I kind of try to do things that I see are missing in terms of what people are looking to learn, and then I teach people how to basically draft their own pattern using their own measurements. And I think once you know how to do the block, then you can play around and put a slit here, put a dart here, and you have a completely different garment. So I sell my own pattern, but I do like people to know and be empowered to like draft their own as well if that's what they want to do.
I think that's really a useful tool to have, isn't
Exactly.
it? Yes, definitely. So, TammySilver.com. So, if you could pick 2 notable milestones in your career, what would they be?
So, I've had a lot. I think I've really enjoyed writing for different sewing magazines, and I've written for like Mollie Makes, Love Sewing, and having those collaborations like I've done with Spoonflower. And I think you've mentioned before that the petal tops are one of my patterns was shown on the break, this is showing me. And I call it a milestone, but if I'm being honest, like I had mixed feelings about it because like on the BBC they're not allowed to advertise patterns, so it was weird because I was getting a lot of messages like when the episode came out, and they're like, "Oh, is this your pattern?" Like da da da, and I was like, "Oh wow, it is." And she gave me time to like the sewing was sharing it, and the contestant was sharing it. Like I wasn't give me credit for it, and I found that to be quite a deflating experience because you think, oh, this is like my big break, or this is gonna make me like push me out there, but it didn't really have that effect.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a mixed blessing.
It was a mixed blessing. I think.
But who made it?
It was Brogan. She's lovely. Like I chatted back with her when she initially bought it, and she was, "Oh, I'm buying a pattern," and I shared with her like the tutorial and like walked her through it and stuff. And what she made was like absolutely amazing. I think she got to the semi-finals like with that garment as well. So any kind of feelings I had would never air towards her. Like she's amazing. We still have like a decent like relationships and stuff. But I'm happy like through that process I was able to, because I did end up talking to like one of the execs from Everbee and having that conversation to be like, I want you guys, if they champion supporting creativity and supporting creativity, I think there is a better and different way that they can do that. And I'm happy that I was able to have that conversation. Whether or not anything will change from it, I don't know, but it's taught me to always kind of have my views heard. Whether it's good or bad.
No, I do agree, because I actually wrote the book for the Great British Design 4th series.
Okay.
But I was in the same boat as you. I wasn't allowed to promote that fact.
Yeah.
Was it just you? Because that's why I wrote it.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to favour and fortune. Didn't get it. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of that. So, I also know you like to take an ethical approach to your business. So, what are your key must-haves in that?
I think for me, one comes from like recognizing the creators and people that contribute to your like the work or your business, and also paying as well. I think the sewing industry has a really weird approach when it comes to like pattern testers, and it's this thing where like they'll ask people to apply, and it's almost like, oh, you're lucky enough to be like chosen as a pattern tester, what an honor it is. And most people like they do this labor for free, and the brand will kind of position it as, oh, you're getting this pattern for free. But when it comes to pattern testing, like there's so much work involved. I need you to tell me like how much fabric do you use, walk me through like what you understood, what you didn't understand. There's going to be fit issues as well, and that's why you test it before going out. So I always pay my pattern tester, and I think that's important for me. I never want to like exploit that relationship because a lot of people are fans of like my designs and they do want to make it, but I don't want to just take like advantage of that.
That's nice.
And I think as well, like just going forward, I do want to try and be inclusive as I can when it comes to sizing and different things. Because
what sizes do your patterns go up to? Because you're tiny, your sister's tiny.
I have 14 sizes. So my trouser pattern goes up to 61.5 inches. So that's the range I go up to. So with me, I always have 14 sizes in my pattern. And I don't do like size 8, size 16. One, because like shops have so many different types of size. It doesn't, if it says size 8, like it doesn't actually mean anything. So mine go from A to K. Because I don't want them to be thinking of that specific number. I want them to read the size chart and pick out the one that's closest to their size. I find that more useful. I think people that buy
she's singing along my astonishing. It drives me crazy that the pattern sizes are so often nothing to do with high street sizes. So if you're a 12 in the high street, you might well be a 14, 16 or 18 pattern. So if you don't have those numbers,
it's better to just eliminate
you look
it.
at the sizes,
Yeah.
don't you? No, I totally agree with you. I have tried to get the big 6 to do that, but not happening. Okay, so what's on the near horizon for you?
Okay, so I have a new pattern coming up, but this one is actually with a sewing pattern company called Talco Magazine. So they're a Finnish company, and they basically promote and help like smaller indie designers. And I think it's every quarter they have a call for designs, and they do different themes. So the one I submitted for is for the travel collection. And thankfully, I was chosen, and I have a dress person coming out in, I think it's July. It's going to come out. It's going to be available on their magazine and on their website as well. So that's something I'm really excited about.
Will it be in English?
Yes. It will be. Yes, it will be. It will be in English. I'm guessing Finnish as well, but it's available to purchase when it comes out in July. And my plan is just to continue making my own patterns, writing and doing tutorials. I've just started my YouTube channel as well, and I do tutorials on there. So you're welcome to join the channel. Again, Tammy Silver, if you guys are interested in learning more about sewing and pattern grafting, that's the type of content I share.
Okay, so finally, if you could have a crystal ball, where would you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, oh dear. I think for me, I enjoy making clothes, like that gives me a lot of joy. I see having my own like mini collection, aside from my pattern, but a fashion collection in my future, just to kind of express my personal style to people that like, bold, flamboyant, colourful clothes like I do, to be able to share that with them. And I've always wanted to be an editor for a sewing magazine as well. So I actually did.
Did it for
Is it quite stressful?
extremely stressful.
Maybe I always think that, but I always want to experience.
journey, so
I want to experience it and decide if I like it. So those are the two things that I'm looking to see how I can establish in the next years.
So we are going to come back in 10 years' time, and we are going to see the Tammy Silver catwalk show
Yeah.
from the leading editor of So Tammy.
That's all. We've named it here, guys. We've named it.